This semester, we decided to crack one of science's most important questions. And that was, what do maggots like to eat? So, black soldier flies, or BSFs, are actually pretty useful and chill bugs. They can be used to break down organic waste and be used as a source for protein. That isn't really important too much to the purpose of our experiment, but we will be looking into how it's used to break down all the food waste that we make. So the next obvious question for our experiment was, how quickly can we get these maggots to fatten up? If a maggot hits its protein goals, will it bulk? And if so, how much faster compared to the other food groups? To start the experiment, we started by taking 12 larva plates and splitting them up into the big three of macros. Of course, these are grain, meat, and vegetables, but lastly, we had to make mixed just so that we could have something to compare all of these groups to. So getting food was actually one of the harder parts of this experiment, but luckily some of our friends on campus were able to help us. Although this did end up saving the experiment, it also justifies us not being entirely sure what was actually in the food we were feeding the larvae. So all of the food we got was actually categorized visually by whoever happened to be feeding that day. We then weighed the larvae over time for each group. Remember, there's 12 plates, 8 times, over 23 days, all by hand. 4 people had to help with this process as it really was just too much for one person's nose to handle at a time. Georgia's weather, though, has been particularly uncooperative as a part of climate change, which we are working to solve with this project, but this actually worked against us and wiped out the entire population of larvae midway through the experiment. Despite this setback, though, the results actually ended up being pretty interesting. The mixed diet larvae grew the fastest, and this was significant compared to the other groups. This was followed by meat, then grain, and vegetables, which are both very disappointing, relatively speaking. So with data analysis, there are a couple different ways to go about it. We used 3 methods: an ANOVA, a 2-key, and something called a linear mix model, or LMM. It found a large interaction between diet and time. So what did we learn from this? Unfortunately, the grain-fed maggots, although they tried their best, bread just really isn't that good for bulking, and they're going to need more protein in their diet. What we learned this semester is that protein is superior to grain for bulking as given by the 2-key HSD that we ran. This is not to say that eating only Chick-fil-A is best for bulking, but instead that a balanced diet of vegetables, meats, grains, and fruits is probably best for growth. For the larva, diverse nutrition has implications for sustainable waste bioconversion. Also, that storing maggots in a laboratory fridge is not good for building management.